Hello and welcome everyone to Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. We are investigating the Abbey Grange Affair, and we did quite some good investigating, I would say, at the house. We found out some interesting clues. We have probably a false lead with a local gang. We have the witness testimony of the maid and the lady of the house, and now we need our most trusted friend. Not you, Watson, but you, Toby.
Come on, Toby. We need the best nose in the British Empire on this case.
I picked up Toby. That's good. We also need to examine the rope that we found.
Was cut.
It was used to tie her.
The fibers at the end of the rope are smoothly cut. Let us try to find out what tool was used to cut the rope.
Scissors.
The fibers from this cut appear to be different.
Okay, so it's not that, maybe a knife.
If I cut the rope with a knife, it matches the original.
Okay, so we're talking about a knife. Sharp knife. After the rope. The rope was cut once with a sharp knife and tied quickly in sailor's knot. That could indicate that the intruder had a sailor's background. Indeed. Okay. I think that's all here. For now we have to return to Abbey Grange. With Toby. Look at him!
Search, Toby.
Okay. Oh, we have. Oh, we're actually playing as Toby now. Good boy. Look at his floppy ears. Oh.
The intruders entered the shed for some reason when they were making off with the silverware.
Then it goes here. Oh, wow.
The scent leads to the well. I should check it.
And then it's this way. They hopped over the wall, it seems.
The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall. The criminals left the house through the French window. They walked to the shed, then across to the well, before fleeing by climbing over the wall. I wonder why they chose such a winding route.
Exactly. More and more evidence that we're not talking about just a random gang. I had this theory last time that it may be a sailor friend of the lady, an affair, a literal affair, Oh, look at this.
There's something glittering at the bottom there, but how can I reach it? I need a hook.
Need a hook of sorts.
If only I had something with which I could lift that object.
Maybe I find something in the house. Let's go to the shed first then. Oh, there's a hook.
This
Perfect.
hook might be useful. Small gardening tools, nothing of great interest. Bags of seed. Some empty bags were recently moved. This old suitcase sounds hollow. It must be empty.
Well, now we should be able to... Oops. There we go. Was that the silverware? Looked shimmering.
Silverware.
Aha.
This is hardly a coincidence.
And
The
crest.
Brackenstall
Yep.
coat of arms. It appears that we have found the stolen silverware.
Okay. Silverware found. The whole story is a lie. Imitated robbery. Yes, clearly. Pretty clearly, I would say. Joseph was murdered by the one person who was visiting last night. It was he who set up Lady Brackenstall. He is tall and strong. Look for a sailor. Okay. So far, I mean, the only thing that gives me a lot of pause is that it feels a little too obvious. Here we have a dialogue option with the lady. There we go.
We found your silverware, Lady Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your ladyship? We found your mistress's silverware.
Oh, that's good news. You really are as clever as they say.
Indeed.
And nothing there, maybe Lestrade has something to say?
Inspector, I have recovered the stolen silverware.
You are a wizard, Mr. Holmes. And where is it?
In the garden well.
Excuse me?
Unique, isn't it?
Rather absurd. What is the point of stealing silverware and then throwing it down into a well?
Perhaps it was used as a temporary hiding place, or simply the thieves wanted to get rid of it. It is up to us to solve this mystery.
All right. Well, we have to search our archives. So let's return to Baker Street. Like, this case seems pretty straightforward. Other than we don't know exactly what happened that night, but I feel like it's pretty clear that Lady Brackenstall was being visited by a sailor friend that in some form or fashion the users interrupted them or attacked them maybe even and then died. So the specifics are a little bit unclear, but I feel like the general story seems Makes sense. Probably more newspapers, right? 1893. East Africa Company, Rock of Gibraltar. Oh, Rock of Gibraltar arrival there. The Rock of Gibraltar, a bulk carrier from the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, Connaught Building, James Street, London, has returned from a 6-month voyage through India, New Zealand, and Australia. The ship brought to England Miss Mary Fraser, the heiress of the Fraser family owning land and tin mines in Australia. This reportedly beautiful young lady is presented engaged to Sir Eustace Brackenstall, one of the wealthiest gentlemen
Here
in
it
Kent.
is.
All right. Task for Wiggins.
The shipping company, the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, and its address. Interesting. It must be the place where they keep the records, including the one for the crew of the Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard, they'll give it to you without any problems.
But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
The specialist. Let's do it. Wiggins.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I need a register, my young friend. If you could borrow it, there will be half a guinea for every one of you. I need the crew list of the Rock of Gibraltar in 1893 and their current employment.
I'm straight on it, Mr. Holmes.
Good job.
Do you really think they'll find it, Holmes?
My secret police is better than the Yard in many ways.
To be fair, that's not very hard.
Here it is, Mr. Holmes. But we can't take it back. It's too risky.
Put it on the table. I'll take care of it. Good work, young Wiggins.
Here we go. Let's have a look.
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor. And these are the lists of the senior officers of the Adelaide, Southampton, London line ships. Let us find out who was in London upon November the 7th.
On November the 7th. Okay. And
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Okay. Go through it. Oh, there we have.
This
Mr.
officer
Charles.
was on a ship that sailed half a
Charles,
month ago.
chill.
He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
We can eliminate him.
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
Now we still have Crocker, Woods, Walker, and Whitting. Jack Crocker.
Mr. Jack Crocker was in London upon the date of the crime, and he is due to depart in 2 days.
Okay. What about the other ones? Thomas
This
Walker.
officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
We have Herbert Whittington.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Cannot be involved. We'll need Ernest J. Woods. There.
This officer is still at sea.
Okay, can only be
therefore
Jack
he
Crocker.
cannot be involved. Captain Jack Crocker is our mysterious visitor. He was the only one around at the time of the murder.
Okay, perfect. Call Crocker to confront him.
This Crocker, do you think...
It would be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him.
By the way, good job, Toby.
Brave Toby. The best nose in the British Empire. Wiggins, could you find a way to bring this Captain Crocker here to us?
Here? Holmes, that could be dangerous.
No problem, Mr. Holmes.
It'll be fine, Watson.
Mr. Holmes, I was informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
That's a mighty beard.
Yes, it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why.
Okay. Let's have a look. Glorious beard. Nothing on his hands? Always something on his hands, usually. But there's nothing. Clean boots. Oh, there we have the knife. Jeez, I must have missed a lot. Look. Oh, there was something. Strong build. Usually there's always something with the hands. Something in his crotch. Oh, there. There.
You are acquainted with
what's
Lady
up?
Mary Brackenstall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her from when I was first officer, but I still don't see...
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
Indeed, how reckless a feeling is love, particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder in its name.
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay, found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
You... and what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brackenstall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right if there was no evidence.
What then?
You tied her up.
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
I sure do. The sailor's knot.
Yes, as she was tied with a sailor's knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London right now. Your theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Sharp. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night.
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
Ah,
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No, there is no doubt that these men will testify in his favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Okay.
Now I understand why you dissected the bell rope.
We're already at the conclusion part. I mean, it seems obvious that Crocker was involved. Captain is the killer. I mean, we could say that it maybe was a deadly accident. But why is that contradicting that? Domestic. No, I mean... we could also blame the Randall gang, but I think at this point that is not very... What? No. Not a deadly accident. Randalls are guilty. Yeah, but that's not the case. I would say the captain is the killer. Seems fairly obvious, honestly. Was committed in self-defense. Jack Crocker defended a woman against a violent and dipsomaniacal man. The mystery is solved, but you decide to keep it a secret. Ooh, I mean, I kind of feel tempted because I feel, from what we know about Sir Eustace, it is very well possible that it was mostly to protect. And, like, okay, let's think about it. Lady Brackenstall clearly had some serious bruising in her face, but from what we know, it probably wasn't Mr. Crocker who committed those bruises. So I think I'll resolve them.
Wiggins, could you ask Mr. Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes?
It is over. I know that it was you who killed Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
What?
I know, because of the height at which the rope was cut. The knife used was a sea knife. The knots were sailor's knots, and not least the sheer force that was put behind the killing blow. And because you are the only one who knows Lady Mary Brackenstall in London. And because you love her.
It's true.
It is time for you to tell us the whole truth.
I admit that I loved Mary madly from the first day that I met her. But I never did come to visit her, for I believed that she was in a happy household. When I talked to her maid, who told me everything, I was insane with rage. I was due to set sail for 6 months away. I wanted only to see her again. But it turned into a damnable nightmare when he barged in. He dared raise his hand to her. He was not even worthy of licking her boots. Oh, I regret nothing. I admit I killed the monster out of love for her. She will forgive me if she is able.
Lady Brackenstall already forgave you. She said
Exactly.
nothing.
Mary.
But that makes her an accomplice as well as her maid. It places her in danger yet again.
Mr. Holmes.
You would not have managed to protect her.
Till I die, do you hear me? Here is a letter that sets everything clear, and it is the one that should be disclosed to the police. I am the only culprit. Mary had nothing to do with it. Now it is time to end this.
Are we gonna fight? No. Oh, he wanted to kill himself.
Please forgive me, Captain Crocker. I wished only to test your sincerity, and your words and deeds have far exceeded my expectations. See here, Captain Crocker, we'll do this in due form of law. You are the prisoner. Watson, you are a British jury. Captain Crocker, the evidence shows that you acted without premeditation and used reasonable force to protect an innocent victim from her husband's brutality. Your devotion pushed you to attempt to kill yourself in order to protect the one you love. Now, what say you, gentlemen of the jury?
Not guilty, my lord.
Thank you.
Vox populi, vox Dei. You are acquitted, Captain Crocker. So long as the law does not find some other victim, you are safe from me.
Mr. Holmes.
It is a great responsibility that I take upon myself, but I will give Lestrade an excellent lead, and if he can't avail himself of it, I can do no more. Come back to your lady in a year, and may her future and yours justify us in the judgment which we have pronounced this night.
Better make it worth. That's like a very straightforward case.
Inspector, I'm afraid that the murderers have escaped us.
What? Do you mean to tell me that you failed? Never thought I'd live to see the day.
I mentioned the murderers, not the case. It is obvious that the crime was committed by 3 criminals who cannot be the Randalls.
You really think so?
You only need to find a gang of 3 thugs wandering around. I can trust you to do that.
If they exist, I'll catch them.
You'll find someone, I have no doubt of it. Goodbye, Inspector.
Okay, yeah. It was a pretty short case. Pretty straightforward, but I like the story behind it. And I'm happy with my decision. Let me know in the comments below what you would have picked. But I felt like it was mostly self-defense. So I'll let it slide. Thank you all for watching. I will take a break here, and then we will continue with the next case in Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments next time. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please give the video a like. Maybe consider subscribing to the channel. Share the video with friends, family, and the people on the internet. If you want to go the extra mile in supporting the channel, go check out the Patreon link down below. That all helps me out a whole bunch and will bring you more content in the future. I will be back with more Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments next time. Until then, have a great time.